Hey guys, thanks for tuning in, and in this video we're going to be going over the basics of being an event videographer and what gear to bring and all that good sort of stuff. Let's check it out. Being an event videographer is a lot different than being a videographer for, let's say, a movie shoot or music video or anything where you have control over the situation and you pretty much know where you're going to be shooting and you don't have to really be run and gun, so to speak. So doing event videography. By event videography I mean pretty much anything where you're covering an event. So whether it's, let's say, a Sweet 16 or a wedding like I do, or I've seen people like they cover like other types of parties or community events like fairs and stuff. Anything like that, you kind of don't have control over what you're going to be seeing. So it's important to be prepared for pretty much anything that you encounter, and you gear to be rightfully so as well. You have the skills and knowledge in order to handle pretty much any situation that you come across. So first thing that you need is obviously the camera. I use a Nikon D7100 with Sigma 17 to 50 2.8 lens. We're going to get into why I chose this lens later, but it's very important to have a very good camera. So reason why I chose this lens above, let's say, a 24-70 was because this camera is a crop sensor camera. It's not a full frame like Nikon D800, D810, whatever numbers they are now. I'm not really sure, but because it has that crop sensor, let's say a 50mm like I got here, it's actually gonna look like a 24-70. I'm sorry, the 50 is gonna look like an 85mm, so it's gonna be a lot tighter. And for some venues, that's not really an easy focal range to work with. You need something that kind of can be versatile. So this 17 to 50 is almost like having a 24-70, and it maintains a constant aperture of 2.8, which for events, that is, especially indoor events, that is extremely important because it allows you to let in as much light as possible. Now it has the same aperture at 17 as well as the zoom in to 50, same thing, 2.8. So no matter what, it's always going to be 2.8, which allows me to get a lot of light in, allows me to be more flexible, and I don't really have to focus on adjusting my settings all that much. Now if you're using a lens like this, which is a basic Nikon kit lens, it has a focal range of 18 to 55. However, the aperture range on it is, at its widest, 18, it's 3.5, and all the way zoomed in, it's 5.6. Why that's a problem is, let's say you have perfect exposure 18, but let's say something's happening across the dance floor and you want to get a good shot of it. You go to zoom in, your shot's going to be extremely dark by 2 or 3 stops of light, and there's nothing you can do to adjust red. Except playing with your ISO, which I try not to do. I try to keep it at 25 to 3200 max, depending on how bright the venue is. And you can't play with the shutter speed when you're doing video. So I shoot at 25 frames per second, so I have to keep my shutter at 1/50th of a second, just so it's perfectly synced up and there's no jittering or whatnot. And if you want to go higher, I forget what the multiples are, but I don't really play around with it, so I don't know off the top of my head. But I'm gonna look it up and annotate in the video right now for you guys to show you what the annotations are. Show you what the multiples are of it. But pretty much, if you messed around with photography a little bit or know about videography, you know that the more higher your shutter speed is, the less light you're letting in, and your videos can be a lot darker. So you want to be able to let in as much natural light as possible, so you don't have to use your video light as much, if at all. So that's about the lenses. Now another option for lenses, besides a variable lens or a zoom lens like this one, is prime lenses. Now prime lenses are really cheap. They're very good for low light situations, even with a shitty camera. I'll show you some videos later, but the low light functions of prime lenses are amazing. So this is a 50mm 1.8D from Nikon. It's about $100 lens, and it is, for the money, it is really amazing. So it has obviously a 1.8 aperture, however it's stuck at 50mm, so it's really tight. I use this more for like detailed shots and b-roll, which we'll get into later, what I mean by that. But I also like this because it has a really long focus pull on it, like this, so you could get I could get really nice focus pulls on like flowers or other details we could go over later what you can use this for. But prime lenses are definitely good. I kind of wish I had a 35 or 24, but for now I just have this, so that's what I'm going to be using. So not only is your video quality very important, but your audio is also extremely important. So depends on what you're shooting for. Like for parties, you're not going to need to use the on-camera audio as much, especially if you're doing like a recap style video. However, if you're filming best man speeches or maid of honor speeches or candle speeches, anything like that, you're going to want to have really good audio. If you don't, your video is just going to suck no matter what you do. If you don't have good audio, no one's going to want to watch it. If it sounds good and the picture's okay, it's bearable, at least because it sounds good. If it doesn't sound good, you're not going anywhere in this business. So what I use, because I'll go through the reasons why I have this kind of setup. I have this Rode shotgun mic. It's the Rode Video Mic Go. It's $100. It's just a simple shotgun microphone. It does have a built-in amplifier. I plan on doing the upgrade, the ones that have the batteries in it, so that way it doesn't like fizz out as much. I have a little bit more control, but I don't use the onboard audio that much, so it's not that big of an issue. Mainly it would just be for scratch audio, or if I'm doing like a testimonial at the end of the party or something. My voice keeps cutting out. That's great. So definitely want to have good audio. So this is one option you have. Your other option, which is your best option, especially for recording speeches or anything like that, is to do external recording and then using this as like a scratch audio. So you have the audio you have on your camera, you take the audio that you recorded externally and you just match them up, and your audio is going to sound a lot better. So what I do personally is I connect the DJ system into my Rode Video Mic Go with a bunch of whatever cabling that I need, which I have. I'll explain it all later. And then this attaches into my MacBook Pro by USB, and then it uses like a sound card and then records the audio straight from there. It doesn't sound the greatest, it peaks a lot. This isn't really made to do that. I planned on getting a Focusrite Scarlett just to handle that, like not with the one with the 2 inputs, not the one. It's like $150. I plan on upgrading to that, but this gets the job done if it's just speech, as long as the DJ or MC isn't screaming into the microphone like he tends to do. So another really important thing while you're recording audio is also audio monitoring. So I use the Audio-Technica NTH50Xs mainly because they're just very comfortable and they have good noise canceling. You don't really need to monitor the audio that crazy. However, you just want to make sure that you're picking up the sound that you're pointing at. So if like people are screaming and you have your mic pointed at it, you're going to hear the people screaming in your headset. So you just want to make sure that you're picking that up. Another benefit to having headphones is it blocks out a lot of the sound. So at these parties, if you're standing right next to the speaker, you're not going to go deaf. And it's just going to save you a couple headaches and a lot of aspirin. So in addition to making sure you have a good camera lens, camera body, camera lens, and audio gear, you want to make sure that you have good stabilization gear also. By that I mean tripods, monopods, shoulder mounts, anything like that. So I have a couple systems I use. One is this shoulder mount system from Newer that I'm going to post a picture up right now. I feel like putting it together. I use that mainly and it works phenomenal. It has a little tripod screw on the bottom, so I can attach my tripod switch plate on the bottom, and then when I need to, I can throw it on the tripod and then use it like that, and it works flawlessly for me. Here's the tripod that I use. It's a Magnus VT30. It's got a nice fluid head on it. It's kind of heavy and bulky, but it gets the job done. I'm all about getting the best bang for my buck, and I don't get too many jobs, but when I do, I want to have the best quality I possibly can, just because I'm not going to put my name on something that looks like shit. So I always try to like find good cheap products that will work for however long I'm going to be using it for, and then when I get the chance, then I'm going to upgrade to something better. So one good example of that was tripods. This is a $100 tripod, but in the future, if I want to, I can upgrade to a Manfrotto tripod if I see that I'm getting a lot more jobs where I need a tripod. And the more especially since I bought this fluid head tripod, I use it so much. Pretty much any chance I'm able to use it, I try to use it, just because the quality is so much better on it. Especially for B-roll, I'm not gonna be shaking. The shots are smooth as hell, and it just looks phenomenal. So keep that in mind when you're shooting. Another option is monopod. So this is a simple monopod by Targus. It's got three expendable parts to it, and it just screws into the bottom. There's no head or anything for it. Now you essentially would want one a little bit better than this, but if you're on budget like me, you want to get the cheapest stuff possible that's going to work for you. So this worked for me. You just screw it into the bottom of whatever you're using, well, whatever camera you're using. So screw into the bottom of your camera, or you can have something like this just for a little more stability. I used to screw the tripod into the bottom of the screw here, and then that's actually the camera. I kind of held it like that. It's allowed for a little bit more control, and it was a little bit easier to maneuver around and everything. However, if you want to go the monopod route, you're going to really want something like one of the Manfrotto tripod monopods. It has a little flick out legs at the bottom, as well as a video head on it. So that way you can get the silky smooth pans, and you're not going to have to worry about it. You're not going to need a shoulder mount or anything. That's kind of just what you got. So other video gear you could probably have is definitely a video light. I try not to avoid using this, but where I need to I can. So this has, where is this one? This is the Genere LED 6200T. So it's got two knobs on the back, one for brightness and the other one is for color temperature. So right now this is at like a tungsten type color. In the video it pops up very tannish, and then you got white LEDs, and you can do a mixture of both or whatever you want. And then obviously the brightness and everything. It uses standard batteries by Sony. I forget what these are called. MPF550 batteries. They're really cheap. You can get a couple of them for about like 30 bucks or so, and you're pretty easily available. What I like about this light also is it has the cold shoe mounts on the side. So what I do is I take my microphone, I screw it onto the side and lock it down, and then I screw the ball head mount that came with this light on the bottom of this, attach that to the camera, and then I'm set to go. I don't have to do any special adapters or anything. It's a lot easier for me, especially I don't worry about on-camera audio too much. Whatever I'm able to get, that I'm able to get, and that's it. Other things I definitely want to consider bringing with you is extra cameras. So I like going with at least two cameras, but definitely three. So my other camera is a Nikon D3100. Now I don't use this as often, however, paired up with this 50mm lens, it produces really stunning video for the quality of it, and you're able to get really juicy B-roll with it. And it's good for like a second shooter. They're able to like get focused on tight shots while I focus on wide, and it works out good. Last thing that I like to use is a GoPro for like time lapses, or I just strap it somewhere, get like a really quick shot of something, or a different angle for dances. This isn't the greatest GoPro. This is like the very, very basic one, the GoPro Hero. I just wanted to try out, see how it was with filming it and how I can adapt to using it. So I eventually do want to upgrade to one of the better GoPros, but this gets the job done for now. I kind of just mounted my cameras on it right now, a Gorilla Pod, and I kind of just wrap it around everything. Another thing you should have to Gorilla Pods, they're very helpful. Last but not least, you just want to make sure you have gaff tape. I don't know where mine is right now. I think it's in one of my bags, but definitely want to have gaff tape on you. You can use it to tape anything to anything that you need to. Use it to secure stuff. I use it to like mark my gear, so if I have other people working with me, I know what stuff's mine, like all my cables and stuff really is color coded with it. And this thing you guys should definitely have with you is plenty of cables, all your chargers that you need for all your batteries, not the primary chargers that you have with you at home, extra chargers. So have an extra battery charger for your camera, have an extra light battery charger, have all the USB cables you could possibly need for all your equipment, have plenty of adapters. I carry 1/4 inch to 1/4 inch links. I carry a bunch of 1/8 to 1/4 inch, like the headphone jacks to 1/4 inch. I carry headphone to RCA, whatever this is. I have XLR to 1/4 inch and 1/4 inch to XLR and all these crazy things, and 1/4 inch cables, XLR cables, all sorts of stuff. Mainly because you never know what kind of system you're going to be working with the DJs. Mainly when you're hooking into their system. Most of them have like XLR or 1/4 inch cables that you could get into, but I've had one system where they used RCA. So from this system it wasn't a big deal. I just took this and kind of just ran a really long headphone line all the way to my laptop and then recorded that way. But you just want to be prepared for everything. And obviously I didn't tape everything up yet, but I really should tape all your stuff. Make sure that you know it's yours. So you got all your video gear, you got all your lenses, you got your cameras, you got your chargers, your batteries, your adapters, wires, all that good stuff. You're at the event. What do? First thing first is to get your camera and all your equipment set up. So get your tripods out, get your cameras up and going, get your lights set, get your lights mounted, audio checked, all that good stuff. Second thing is to get your white balance on your camera set. So white balance is very important for video, same as it is for photography. So what I do to check white balance is, first you gotta go into video mode on your camera. So I'm gonna go there, right? I don't know if you guys can see this too well. I don't even know what this is taking a picture of. Okay, this is really dark. Oh, I'm on F10, that could be why. There we go. So I'm gonna start playing with the white balance on if you guys can see it. Let me try to get you guys closer. So we're gonna just start playing with the white balance on this. So here it is with pretty decent white balance, right? Now it's on auto, so I'm gonna change it to whatever that little light bulb symbol is. You see how it gets cooler? And I can switch it again. Gets a little bit warmer. That it allows a lot more of the tin of the yellow lighting in the room to come through. You can't really tell. That's for flash, outdoors, your own color temperature, wherever you have it set to. More presets, and then auto. I usually leave it on auto and it comes out right. However, you just want to make sure you have it set to what the event lighting is going to be, not to what the lights are currently. Like you get there, it'll be daytime. Your white balance is going to be different from day to night, so you just want to make sure that you're all set. There's always something you could change in the middle, but you don't want to be recording and all of a sudden you forgot that your white balance is shit, and you're not going to have good video with that. So you want to make sure you also have proper exposure. So you don't want to have your video too dark, but you don't want to have it too bright either. It's not like photography if you're shooting raw format where you can just kind of play with the exposure in Lightroom and then your picture comes out flawless every single time. Once you shoot your video, that's pretty much it. You can't really play around with it too much on that, and you can make it a little bit, but you're going to notice a lot of the noise start coming out in the video and it's not going to look too good. So you gotta have your shutter speed, like I said before, set. So like I keep mine at 50. I keep my aperture 2.8. What I use to adjust my light is by ISO. I try to keep it between. I try to keep it under 3200 because after 3200 it starts getting a little fuzzy. But I try keeping it under. And then I use my light as my fill light to get whatever color temperature I'm looking for to fill light with wherever I'm trying to get at. I want to make sure that I have control over that situation, and with that external light you're going to have that. No matter how dark it is in the room, you're going to be able to get good exposure as long as you have a light. If you don't have a light, you're kind of screwed, especially for dark areas. No matter how, you're going to have to bump your ISO all the way up to the highest it could possibly go, and then your video is going to be really grainy and really shitty and not even be able to see them that well. So you definitely want to have a light. So now that you got all your camera settings, right? There's a couple of tricks that you need to know prior to going into actually shooting. One of them is called focus pulling. So what I mean by that is actually manually moving the focus around to get the focus on the subject that you want. Reason being is that autofocus for cameras doesn't really work all the time. Especially doesn't work the way you want to. So I found that it was best to just learn how to play with the focus manually, perfect it, and just use that. Don't fly on the camera, because otherwise if the camera messes up and it's keen shots such as the bride and groom's first dance or the bride feeding the groom a cake or something like that, you want to be able to make sure that you're capturing that moment. You only got one shot, so it's best to rely on your skills and the cameras. Another thing is to, like I said before, to use your stabilizers to your advantage. Use your tripods, use your shoulder mounts, use your monopods, use anything that you possibly can to get the stillest shot possible. Now obviously for like dancing parties, it's gonna be kind of hard to run around with the tripod unless the venue is huge and you could like roll around with your tripod. Your best bet is to use either like a monopod or a shoulder mount like I use. It kind of just sits up here like that, and then I can film how I need to. Now, if you can't have stable video, you might as well not be in this business, because you're not going to be able to last with not good quality video. Having stabilized is going to allow you to have that professional quality, especially like a tripod with a fluid head for those B-roll shots, which we are going to get into next. So all the shots that you're going to be taking at the venue is extremely important. That first hour or so before all the guests start showing up, that first hour or so before the guests start showing up is very crucial to how your video is going to come out. So all the shots that you take in that is technically called B-roll. So B-roll is pretty much anything besides the key moments of the party. So besides the bride and groom's first dance, besides the father-daughter dance, besides the cake, besides the buffet throwing, besides the garter throwing, anything besides that stuff, key parts of the party, it's all your detail shots. So it's not the dancing parts. Like, I consider B-roll to be getting close shots of people talking, getting the entrance, not the entrance of the party, like people just walking in. I like setting the GoPro up on my little gorilla pod on the floor and getting a time lapse as people are coming in. Table settings you want to get. If the weather's cooperating with you and you can get really good venue shots, go get your venue shots. Get shots of the DJ setup, get shots of the DJ mixing, get shots of the MC talking, get shots of anything else around the party. You want to be able to capture every little thing, so that way when you go back to edit, you have plenty of footage to choose from to do with how you want to edit the video. Which gets into my next point, is to shoot how you want to edit. I learned this the hard way, and the only way you could be able to learn this business is by trial and error. So recently I did a Sweet 16 and I was miscommunicated to very poorly by the DJ company that I normally shoot for them. Like, I do advertising for them, I do their advertising videos and whatnot. I normally do that for them. DJ called me up, he said, hey, can you come to this event this weekend and shoot some video? I'm like, okay, sure, why not? So I get there and I'm in the mindset, okay, I'm shooting for advertisement. I know what kind of shots I need, I know what kind of style I'm gonna edit the video in. So I shot for that. He comes back to me, like, after I send him the video, he's like, this is not what I asked for. I thought we were shooting this for the client. And I just got thrown for a loop, and I tried my best to edit for that, but I didn't shoot for that, so I don't have that video. So it's very important to know what you're shooting for, and also how you want to edit the video. So if there's a specific shot that you want to get, or if there's a specific angle or anything like that, you want to make sure that you get it there, because you only have that one chance. Especially for those in the moment shots, you're not gonna be able to tell the bride and groom, oh hey, can you do your first kiss again? That's not gonna happen. You have to be able to capture it right then and there. So you have to be prepared. You have to make sure your equipment's ready, and you have to make sure that you're mentally prepared to handle that challenge. That's all I have for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you guys learned something, even if it's stuff that you already knew. Maybe you have some other knowledge to share. Post down in the comments. If you want to just chat, post down in the comments. All my social media links and everything is going to be in the description, as well as my website, nyccamps.info, which I'll be posting as much content as I possibly can whenever I get the chance. My schedule is pretty hectic between work and this job and all that other stuff, so whenever I get the chance, I will be making content for you guys, and I hope you stick around and watch. Thanks for watching. Peace.